Hey, good Friday evening, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here with the at-home edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, getting set for the weekend. We have a pretty quiet forecast overall for the next several days, but I did want to touch on a few topics of interest over the last few days. We've, of course, had a lot of severe weather and kind of the aftermath of that, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the weekend forecast, which is a little on the cool side, and we'll talk about some trends for next week as well. In case you missed it, we had some survey results from the National Weather Service office in Pittsburgh. They went out and surveyed the storm damage throughout parts of Columbiana County from Wednesday evening storms. And tornado number one, an EF0, occurred just to the east of Hanoverton, pretty close to Route 30. This was not on the ground for very long, only a couple of miles, really. The width about 150 yards, the wind speed 75 miles per hour. That was the first tornado that touched down. The second one was on the ground for an even shorter distance. This tended to impact, I think, a few more people because it was closer to some towns. This was on the north side of Latonia. The damage started just north of Latonia High School. And then, as if it just didn't want to go to Mahoning County, the tornado seemed to lift right at the border, right along 14 near Washingtonville. And so this was on the ground only for half mile or so, close to a mile. The width was 75 yards, and this was also an EF0 with winds of 70 to 75 miles per hour. They determined that all the damage from Rogers to East Palestine and across the border into parts of Lawrence County, that was straight line winds. Pretty severe damage. But the winds could have even been stronger with that swath of straight line wind damage than with the tornadoes. They estimated maximum wind speeds of up to 80 miles per hour in eastern Columbiana County, and a lot of damage as a result. All right, a spirited discussion on my Facebook page today about sirens. I voiced my opinion, as I sometimes do, about tornado sirens. Overall, pretty outdated technology. Many strikes against sirens. They're not meant to be heard indoors. They never have been. Just because you can hear a siren indoors does not mean that's what it was designed to do. Different municipalities, different criteria for activation. Some municipalities want to set off sirens for severe thunderstorm warnings. That's not the best thing in the world. Often sirens can be activated in parts of counties that are not in the tornado warning. We see this all the time, where municipalities and townships outside of the tornado warning will activate their sirens. Okay, you could say better safe than sorry, but it also can lead to a danger of some false alarm problems. When sirens keep getting set off and set off and set off and there's no tornado, then that might give people the wrong idea overall. So, what do we want you to do? I'm not going to advocate for tornadoes to be torn down. They still can serve a purpose as maybe a lot of people's third or fourth way of getting tornado warnings. Almost no one's first way and only way of getting a tornado warning alert should be by a tornado siren. Even people who do not have cable, do not have a smartphone, do not have great internet access, there's still solutions for those people that aren't sirens. And when we talk about those things, we tend to talk about people who might be elderly. We tend to talk about people who might live way out in the countryside, who may have very limited internet options. But NOAA weather radios are the solution. Find them on Amazon. You can find them in a lot of electronic stores. Easy to program, relatively inexpensive, $25-$30. And they are reliable as all get out and require no internet connection, no cell service, nothing like that. So even if you have a smartphone and a tablet and a cable and you're really plugged in and you signed up for text alerts and all that stuff, NOAA weather radios are still fantastic and a pretty cheap investment, a pretty reliable investment when severe weather strikes. All right, off my siren soapbox, let's get on with where we've been as far as precipitation so far this month, and it's been pretty dry. At the airport, only 0.77. I think it's possible that we'll get through the first 18, 19 days of the month with less than an inch worth of rain at the Youngstown Warren Airport. Temperature-wise, we fell a little short of average today at 74, but overall, of course, it's been warmer than average so far in the month of June as far as high temperatures go. And when we look at highs and lows combined, we're running 3.6 degrees above average so far. We actually have a cold front on the weather map this evening, but it's hard to find. It's this thing right here. There's not much moisture with it. But it's going to sink off to the south tonight, and it's going to bring us a chance of a passing shower or two as we head through the late night hours into tomorrow morning. Now, a lot of us won't even notice this, but it's going to be possible that some raindrops will impact parts of the valley 4 or 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. By the time a lot of people are getting up and around on a Saturday morning, last places might be see a little bit of rain, Columbiana County. But even there, it's not going to last very long, and I think we'll be able to enjoy a lot of the day on Saturday. But it is going to be on the cool side. Temperatures in the coolest spots in the mid-40s Saturday morning, closer to 50 in some of the other locations. We'll get up into the middle and upper 60s in the afternoon. That's almost 10 below the average. So there's our front sinking off to the south. Nice afternoon, a crisp, pleasant Saturday evening. A nice day Sunday as high pressure noses in. And then on Monday, I've allowed for a small chance of a shower. Better shower chances will be south and east of Pittsburgh, but around here it's something I can't quite rule out. Dew points staying in the comfy category for the next handful of days. I think it'll start to get a little bit more humid towards the end of next week, but we're not going to see those 70s dew points like we had a couple of days ago coming back anytime real soon. Happy hour run of the GFS ensemble. That's the blue line. We're going to ignore that. We're going to throw that out. Overall rainfall amounts, I think, for the next week will easily be under a half an inch and very likely under a quarter of an inch in a lot of spots as well. But I do see some signs in the longer range that a more active pattern will start to emerge by next weekend into the following week, and you see that reflected here on the 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook showing decent odds for a wetter than average period. But again, that's 8 to 14 days. In the 0 to 7-day outlook, not much rain occurring over the next week. Hope you have a great Friday evening. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you back here, same time, same place on Monday for a fresh edition of Weather for Weather Geeks.